All right. I want to talk about gold versus Bitcoin debate, basically the battle for hard money debate, and why this debate matters and what's the comparison between gold and Bitcoin, and which asset will be better performing moving forward into the 21st century. But let me actually start with opening up with the topic of hard money because those two assets are classified as hard money, as hard assets because of their scarcity and what have you. So, in if you were to describe what does hard money mean to you, what would you say, Anton?
Hey Piotr, hello everyone. Exciting topic. I wasn't actually aware of this topic, but now I'm jumping because it's one of my favorites. So let's start from there. That for me, hard money means the most accepted decentralized currency in the world, and it's giving freedom and it's giving opportunity for people to know that they can transact and they can use the money for the purpose why the money was created, which is for trade, but also for protecting and growing your wealth. So for me, hard money means I can trust this currency. I can trust my wealth to be invested in this currency, and I know that when I need to buy something or I need to send money somewhere, the selected form of money will actually work. So for me, that's hard money. If I have to describe it in one word, it means freedom, because that's what hard money really gives to people, just freedom.
So
Uh,
freedom of debate from debasement, but also because that hardness aspect of money is for me the fact that you cannot easily debase it, right? You cannot print more, quote unquote. You cannot just increase the supply easily. There is real cost when you're doing this. So for example, when you have gold, it takes time and energy and real costs, real world costs to actually dig this gold out of the ground and then transform this gold into, gold bars or gold bullion and then ship it and then store it in vault and what have you. Whereas in soft currencies or soft monies, the fiat that we are using currently all over the world, those traditional currencies, they are not pegged to anything. So they are not hard either, right? Because anyone, and especially the central bank, anyone in the central bank could um, with a push of the button, basically change the entry in the database, and that's how more money enters the circulation. It's just as simple as that. There is no cost per se in doing this. It's just that's why people are saying that this is out of thin air printing, because it's just increasing money supply with no real cost. Unlike gold, where you need to expend energy to dig it out of the ground, and unlike Bitcoin, where you also need to expend energy to mine new Bitcoin, right? And
yeah,
so for me, that makes the currency, that determines the hardness of the currency. There is one additional aspect to it, which is a stock to flow ratio, right? The stock to flow. So basically, the stock describes amount of amount of currency that's already in a circulation versus the flow, so the amount that is coming in a new supply. And Bitcoin and gold are the best in those regards because there is lots of stock, so to speak, but there is little flow. So the amount of gold that we are adding to the circulation is what, between 1 and 2% per year, and that will stay like this. It's very unlikely and almost impossible that we'll start adding 50%. We'll increase gold supply by 50% next year. That's not going to happen, right? Unless some technological breakthrough comes and we are able to do this. And the same with Bitcoin. There is no way we'll increase that rate of mining. If anything, that rate of mining will be decreasing in accordance with the halving periods, right?
correct. And what you're saying is exactly related to the word freedom. super powerful word which I really like to describe the hard money, because you said three very important points. The first one, debasement. Yes, like the hard money, they're not supposed to be debased, and this is working for Bitcoin. It's also working for gold. You also mentioned the inflation, basically the opportunity for governments to print money out of thin air. They cannot do it with gold. They cannot do it with Bitcoin. But what you didn't mention actually is also the ability to transact, to use your money to achieve your goals, because you cannot just accumulate money without spending. It's not how the world is working. And then I think this is one of the key differentiator between Bitcoin and gold, because imagine having 100 million in gold. You need to store it somewhere. You need to spend money to protect it, to have a security guards. And then when you want to move your money from one place to another, imagine how complicated this is going to be. It's not that straightforward. You need to hire a security firm, then you need to hire a truck, and then you need to really have insurance of this of your gold. So those are expenses that are making transacting gold not so cheap. And then you have Bitcoin, which it's superior than gold, and also you can move it 24/7 internationally without any hassle. And the main difference also, which we haven't covered, is if you want to move gold, you may face some restrictions, because I understand that having $100 million, it's not what the average listener of this discussion has. But I know that people can have a gold through ETFs. They can have gold stored in some trusted third-party banks, and then you may be asked for source of funds. You may be asked how you acquire this gold, from where you get your money in order to buy this gold. And this create challenges. It creates complex on the of the gold money movement process, which just doesn't exist with Bitcoin. And that's the beauty of the Bitcoin. You can have all of the very strong specifics of gold, just better in form of digital money. And when you want to move your Bitcoin, it's happening for 1 hour, super cheap. You can literally pay $5, move 1 million of Bitcoin internationally, hassle-free 24/7, and no one is going to ask you from where you got money to buy your Bitcoin, or did you mine your Bitcoin, or if you mined your Bitcoin, from where you got money to buy the miners, which I have seen from my experience as a questions which some financial institution asked like ordinary and normal people. So that's why I like really the word freedom, because that's what the hard money are supposed to be. Let me tell you something else for Bitcoin versus gold. Do you know that by 2035, which is less than 10 years from now, 95% of all Bitcoin is going to be already mined, which is absolutely crazy. If you think about. And then on the other hand side, you have gold, which the supply is increasing by 1.7%. I mean, different sources are saying between 1.5 and 2%, but let's say on average, every year you have 1.7% increase of the supply of the gold. And then when you compare it with Bitcoin, the supply of the Bitcoin actually is going down every single year. Like less and less Bitcoins can be mined. And you know that by 2140 or 45, which is 120 years from now, all of the Bitcoin would be mined. So no new Bitcoin can exist ever, which makes Bitcoins, it can be described as scarcity. It can be described as a very predictable supply, which is very different from the gold one. And everyone can make a choice, of course, if they want to have an asset which supply is constantly increasing with 1.7% every single year, versus having an asset which supply is decreasing, and at some point it will stop, like decreasing, because no new Bitcoins will be issued. That's what people will understand at some point, and I think that's when people will start migrating gold into Bitcoin. But and I hope that in order for this for this transition to happen, you need to have the right infrastructure and the right understanding of people what Bitcoin is about and how they can actually store and protect their Bitcoin. Because right now, the average gold holder or owner they don't really know how to operate with Bitcoin. They don't know where to store it, and for them it's complicated. Actually, it's something new. They are not educated enough. We can talk a lot about also the wealth transfer which is happening right now from baby boomers to the next generations. And I think the next generations are going to be much more tech savvy, and they will know how to do it. But in order for them to do it, you need to have the right infrastructure. And right now, one of the hottest topic is about Bitcoin infrastructure companies, because this is just needed for the market.
Yes, absolutely. I think what gold has is this aspect of the trust, because gold historically has been trusted for millennia, right? This is the best form of money we've known until 19th century. And it's a very 19th century idea, but it was the best idea we could came up with. And now if you look at the, gold was used for what, 5,000 years. There is this Lindy aspect of it will continue to be used for the next 5,000 years. But still, Bitcoin is a challenger of that, because Bitcoin is what, 15, 16 years old now, and successfully growing and being adopted as a technology for the store of value use case. And if these trends continue, this is the fastest asset growing in the history, right? So even though Bitcoin right now is only around 10% of gold market cap, if we continue this trend that we've seen for the last 10, 15 years, then I expect Bitcoin to not only, match with gold, so 10x from here, but also overtake gold at some point. Because Bitcoin is better than gold, right? In all those different aspects that you mentioned. I mean, the gold is cumbersome, it's costly to store, it's expensive to store. There is also some aspect of gold that people are not maybe talking about, which is counterfeiting. So for example, if you have a gold bar, well, you need to make sure that this gold is real. I mean, it's not fake gold. And it also takes time and money and experts to have a look at your bar and make sure and certify it, right? And make sure it's real gold, not fake gold. That this gold was not debased with some, additional metal that was melted and added there and mixed. Whereas in Bitcoin, it's super simple and super easy to verify if that's the real Bitcoin. I mean, it just takes checking the output of the hash function, right?
Yeah, think about for one average person who is considering should they invest in Bitcoin or should they invest in gold. Now, imagine a person who is not very educated what Bitcoin is, and they just go and see, okay, I can own physically gold. I can see the gold bar. What you're saying, it's extremely valid. You need to verify that the bar is real and there is nothing inside and just being packed with gold from outside. Yes, you have to verify this, which is requiring some additional effort. But anyway, like you can touch it, you can feel it, you can store it under your mattress. And then you have something which is digital, which you cannot physically see, and you cannot absolutely understand what exactly this is. And that's the main difference for the people who are like let's say traditional investors versus people who are open-minded and they want to learn and educate themselves. And I think with everything that's happening right now from the regulatory point of view, which is extremely strong argument for Bitcoin, this is going to change, because even if you don't understand Bitcoin, when you have a trusted broker or investment firm where you store your 401k, your pension, actually, when you have a trusted financial institution like, for example, BlackRock, you can much easily accept that even if you don't understand something, you trust that they care and they offer investment opportunity for you. So those people at some point will actually move from gold to Bitcoin. Even if they don't understand fully Bitcoin, they will start by buying ETFs. Right now, it's extremely